Oh, sorry. Hello, everybody. Russian Batman back with another video, and today we have another random rant. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I kind of wanted to talk about the new DC slate since it just came out. I did a random rant on kind of the whole James Gunn situation and whatnot at DC, but now that we have the official slate, I kind of want to give my take on it and whatnot, kind of what I think, and yeah, what I think about this general DC, the whole DC reboot in general. So, because I remember it was a big question going into this is, well, is it gonna be a reboot? Is it gonna be like a half reboot, full reboot? What's going on? And it does seem, unfortunately, it does seem like they are doing a weird half reboot. Like I said, I would have much preferred that they did obviously a full reboot or do not reboot it at all and just kind of revamp it. Um, because I know even like half reboots in the past, because I know there are a lot of semi reboots. A lot of people consider like the new God of War to be like a semi reboot because it the new game is not like the old game at all. In a lot of ways isn't really like the old game. However, it's the same continuity, right? So it would have been nice if they maybe did something like that, where it was obviously maybe tonally, not tonally, but they were able to mess around with the mythos a little bit more, but not completely rebooted. This seems like, so James Gunn kind of he got to like pick and choose what he wanted and what he didn't, which I don't know. I think that's a little bit weird. I like I said, I think it would have been a lot better if he was just like either full reboot or no reboot, right? So it seems like in the lineup video he mentions that basically, because I remember in my last video I was saying, hey, it would have been cool if they had like an in-world explanation to why the world's being reboot. I was saying something like New 52 or I don't know, some big thing like that. And it seems like in the thing he mentions that the Flash will be the movie that reboots everything, which I should have kind of put that together because I know the Flash was originally also gonna reboot the whole DCU until they got James Gunn to do this new DC universe or whatever. So that's good. So it does seem like they have an in-universe explanation to why the reboot is happening, which is good. However, the releases of the movie seem a bit weird because, like I said, it doesn't seem like a complete reboot because they have Aquaman after the Flash, and they said Aquaman would lead into the next step in the universe or whatever. Which I don't know. To me, seems weird because Aquaman, that's obviously a part of the old universe. So I don't know if they're gonna like the Aquaman movie is gonna be like a new Aquaman, but obviously not because it was being made long before James Gunn. So I don't know how they're gonna incorporate that because I remember Batman was even gonna appear in that. I don't know what this new Aquaman is gonna be because like I said, I know the Shazam movie that's gonna be before the whole reboot. So that's in line with the old universe, yada yada. That's fine. And I think even James Gunn mentioned like, oh, it's in its own part of the universe. It is still connected to the wider universe, but I guess there's not a lot of crossover. So I guess he could say like, well, it's technically not part of the DC universe or whatever. But either way, that's not really being touched, right? But then, like I said, the Flash is gonna happen. It's gonna reboot the universe, and then the first movie is gonna be Aquaman, which is a bit weird. Like I get Blue Beetle because Blue Beetle's I think far enough in development where they can maybe just like cut out some of the references to the old universe and just have Blue Beetle be part of this new universe, right? That kind of makes sense to me. However, like I said, the Aquaman thing, keeping I love Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I think he's great, but it's a bit weird that you're gonna be keeping Jason Momoa as Aquaman, but then you're gonna be removing Henry Cavill as Superman, and then whatever the Batman was. So you're gonna have an old Aquaman and a new Batman and Superman. That seems a bit weird. I don't. Maybe Aquaman will just come out after, but it will take place before the Flash or something. Because I don't. It would. It's gonna be very strange to see like down the line if they make a Justice League movie to see like Aquaman from the old universe with the new Batman and the new Superman in a new Justice League movie. That would be a bit weird and obviously I think very confusing. And another thing about this whole reboot, if it's confusing for someone like me, it's definitely going to be super confusing I think for the general audience. I don't know how they're going to kind of get it, but it's like it's a bit strange, but it kind of is what it is. I mean, I this wouldn't be the way I would go about rebooting it, obviously, but it's the way they went about doing it. And like I said, that's weird. And then they're also not only just having the discrepancy with the Aquaman movie, right? They are also, seems like they're keeping the Suicide Squad, right? The old Suicide, so all James Gunn stuff he is keeping, which is, it's, that to me is a bit weird. I mean, I think I love the Suicide Squad. I want to see it continue, but it seems like if you're gonna get rid of Henry Cavill and all these other people, why not just reboot the whole thing? And I get that, why Suicide Squad's so recent. Why would especially the newer movie? But I mean, it is still connected to the old DC universe, right? I think the first. I mean, I guess they could say like these Suicide Squad movies. Oh, they take place, before the Flash or whatever. They could do that, but or I don't know. And how are they gonna? You know what I don't get? If they do keep Suicide Squad in one, how are they gonna explain that? How are they gonna explain that it's a new universe, but they got these old characters from the Suicide Squad? I don't get it. Maybe in the Flash, it'll all like it'll happen, and then it'll all make sense why certain characters are in and certain characters are out, right? But to me, right now, it just doesn't make much sense. I guess what the most likely option, the most likely thing that's going to happen is obviously a lot of retconning, right? What I think James Gunn is probably going to do with this kind of half reboot, it's going to seem like a full reboot, but they're going to retcon which universe the Suicide Squad took place in or something like that, right? They're going to say, well, no, the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, that wasn't in the old DC universe. That was actually technically part of the new DC universe. Despite the fact you do see characters from that old universe, like I said, Harley Quinn from the first Suicide Squad, and even like I said, even Aquaman made an appearance in Peacemaker, right? So I don't know, and Amanda Waller was in what's it called, Black Adam, right? Which they're getting rid of Black Adam, right? They already said that. We don't know if they're getting rid of like I said, Shazam. Maybe he said, even in the movie, he said like, oh, Shazam is in his own part of the universe, so it's safe. So, well, then what about Black Adam? Black Adam was relatively separate from I don't think the only character that was in there's only two characters that are in Black Adam that are also in other movies in the DC universe. That is the wizard dude who gives Shazam his powers, and Amanda Waller. That is it. And if they're keeping Amanda Waller, it would have made perfect sense to keep Black Adam. But no, they're getting rid of that. And obviously Black Adam had the end credit scene with Henry Cavill. I forgot about the Superman end credit scene. So I think that might be the reason why they're getting rid of Black Adam. But yeah, it just seems a bit weird. Like I said, he's picking and choosing what he wants. And I kind of like this idea of this reboot, right? This new Superman movie sounds cool. This new Batman sounds cool. They're going to actually have the Bat family for once, which is going to be nice. I think it's going to be cool to have, I know it might be confusing for some people for there to be two Batmans at the same time, but I think it's kind of cool because then you get you get the darker, kind of more gritty adaptation with Matt Reeves, and then you get the kind of not like lighthearted, but a little bit of you get more of the Bat family and a little bit more of the comic book mystical side of Batman, right? Because because you obviously wouldn't have villains like Clayface or whatnot in the Matt Reeves universe, but in like this DCU, you can. So I think that sounds cool, but it's definitely, I think once this universe kind of gets going, right? Once I think we're past whatever the chapter 1 or something, I think it's gonna make a lot more sense, but right now it's just confusing as hell. What I think the most likely option is because I don't see how they would have an in-universe explanation to why Amanda Waller is still there. Also, I don't think Amanda Waller needs her own show. I think that's a bit weird because they didn't even talk about Peacemaker season 2, which we know is happening. And like I said, that would be so weird. Like Peacemaker season 1 takes place in the old universe, but Peacemaker season 2 takes place in a completely different universe. That's weird. And like I said, I do like how they're kind of they mentioned they're gonna cross over animated and live action. So characters from the animated shows are gonna come into live action with the same actors. I think that's kind of cool. I actually kind of like the idea of creature commandos. I don't know. I think that's gonna be cool. But it's another. I think a YouTuber pointed out that that this first part of this first phase already has like 3 Suicide Squad things in it, right? It has creature commandos, it has Amanda Waller, um, and then I think it's gonna have Peacemaker. Maybe it won't have Peacemaker season 2. I imagine Peacemaker season 2 would be relatively early on because we already know it's happening. Um, but yeah, then there's also a lot of really obscure stuff, which I think I don't know. I know James Gunn. His whole thing is he takes obscure characters and he makes them, kind of not. He kind of reinvents them. Because you got the authorities and what else? It was like the authorities and one other weird movie. I'm forgetting the name of it. Uh, I don't remember. It was the authorities and then like one other weird group. But yeah, it's definitely strange. He's definitely pulling from a lot of strange places, and it seems like he's gonna be. It seems like he's being a little bit fast and loose with this whole continuity. I know he says he wants there to be one solid continuity, right? This whole thing, he wants there to be one clear continuity. But even just mentioning with these it seems like the transition is a bit. I don't think his look. What I'm trying to say is this new universe, right? I don't think the idea of this universe, or I think he might handle the universe well. We don't know how the universe is going to be handled until we're, a little bit into it, right? How the actual universe is, kind of put together and what it's building to, right? What is clear right now is not being handled right, in my opinion, is the transition between the two universes, right? Like I said, we have, this old universe and this new one. It definitely seems like the transition is very rocky. Right, as is now. Maybe the Flash movie comes out and there's like a reason. Maybe all the Suicide Squad characters get put into a portal or something and transported into this new universe. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna go about doing that. And it's like I said, it's not that many characters. It's really just they have to explain is kind of Aquaman and why they're bringing back the Suicide Squad characters, and that's kind of it. I do, like I said, I do kind of wish it was a complete reboot, but at the same time, I don't want to see those Suicide Squad. I get where he's coming from, right? I personally don't want to see those Suicide Squad characters go. I want to see this Creature Commando. I want to see Peacemaker season 2, right? I actually don't want all of it. I want to see Aquaman 2. I don't want all of it rebooted, but at the same time, this new rebooted universe sounds cool and it sounds like a fresh, slate, but. I don't know. I think they either should have just, like I said, made the universe, got rid of all the previous stuff and just started from scratch, or just not have rebooted it, right? Keep all the same actors. You can make a new Superman movie. You can keep all the other stuff in there, but just like tweak it a bit so it's fits more in line with this new narrative or whatever. I don't know, but. Yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I can't wait to see these new projects. Like I said, I'm kind of hyped for Creature. I don't know anything about Creature Commando, but it looks cool, and it's an animated show, and we need more animated shows that don't get canceled immediately on HBO Max. I can't believe they decided to get rid of the Batman animated show and decided to keep Velma. That is complete BS. Because if you don't know, they were gonna make a Batman animated. I think they still are making a Batman animated show with some of the same people from Batman the Animated Series are on this show, right? And they were gonna do this show, and it was gonna be go to HBO Max, but then HBO Max is like, nah, we're not canceling the show, but it can't come here. We can't have those, those animated garbage on here. Oh, Velma, yeah, we need to keep that going. It's weird. And then also, yeah, DC is keeping a lot of, and they also mentioned the Elseworld stuff, which is cool. It's not new. It's just a new label. He just wants to label everything that doesn't take place in the universe as Elseworld, which I don't know. It's cool. I guess it makes it easier for general audiences to tell what's part of what universe. But yeah, I don't know if any of it's gonna have crossovers. Maybe eventually. I kind of hope not. I hope it just kind of stays separate, like the main DC universe is its own thing. Because it doesn't sound like James Gunn really wants to branch off it a lot. Make more universes. it really seems like he wants every story he does, he wants to keep it in the main universe, and then stories that have already been happening, keep those separate, right? Keep because like the Matt Reeves Batman is already it's not like a new thing. It's already happened, and same with Todd Phillips' Joker. Those sequels have been in development, so it's like, all right, we'll keep those. Those can continue going, but they'll just be separate from the rest of the DC universe. And then I like how they're able to do a lot of tonally different things. They mentioned the Swamp Thing horror movie. That's cool. That's something they could really beat Marvel at if they can do kind of, because that's the thing I think DC's always been good at, right? Making a lot of different things. Because like I said, they're able to make the hard R movies, right? They, like I said, they can do that because they're not kind of confined to one sort of formula, if that makes sense. They're not confined to because I know because like Kevin Feige, he wants all Marvel to kind of be, it's all PG-13, it's all kind of similar humor, yada yada, all this that. Where it seems like this DC universe, even James Gunn said, which I really like. I think this is I think the greatest part about this universe. We'll see if this comes to fruition. But James Gunn saying that, hey, I want everything to, the most important thing is the director's vision and what they see, which is going to add a lot of variety to the DC universe, but also kind of keep it within the same universe. We'll see if he's able to pull it off. We'll see. But yeah, I'm still, I know I've ragged on about this a little bit, but I'm excited for this universe. I'm excited to see what happens. I do think, like I said, the transition between the two universes is a bit messy. Like, why are they keeping some characters but getting rid of others? Like, they're getting rid of the Batman, Superman, and having a new Batman and a new Superman, it just sounded a little bit weird. But other than that, I like how they confirmed that there's a Batman and Superman movie coming out early on. So they are doing, like I said, big players. They're not doing completely obscure stuff. They're doing Green Lantern. They're doing, all these things. Also, I think the least hype one out of all of them was definitely maybe Waller than like the Themyscira Island thing. You know what? Hype level now is kind of low, but if it turns out to be really good, then it's gonna be really good. But just the idea of it is like, I hear it and I'm like, I might watch it, but probably not. But yeah, let me know in comments what y'all think of the new DC universe. Do you think it's a good idea, bad idea? Should he have had completely rebooted it, or maybe not? Let me know in the comments below, and y'all have a nice rest of the day. It's a movie y'all should really watch. It's a really good movie. It's the 2011 film Rango. That's good, and that deserves a cinematic universe. And y'all have a nice rest of the day, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Ciao, bye-bye, sayonara, ciao, bye. So, okay.